Good morning, family and friends. Many of us have had the displeasure of dealing with imperfection among our family and friends to the point that it points to the fact that we are surrounded by imperfect people and ourselves being the same. But it does not mean that we become a part of dysfunction. The Bible records in Genesis 37, verses 1 through 11, the story of Joseph. One starts with Joseph dwelling in a land where his father was a stranger. I'm sorry, Jacob dwelling in a land where his father was a stranger in the land of Canaan. Then you have the history of Jacob and Joseph being 17 years old, all the way down to his dream and his brothers bowing down to him and him being asked by his father, "Shall your mother and I bow down to you also?" And his brothers envied him, but his father kept the matter in mind. Thanksgiving just passed. Many of us have found ourselves in a situation where we realize just how imperfect our family was. Family get togethers, Thanksgiving, weddings, and funerals always point to the imperfection of our family. How many folk in our families who like to drink, get drunk, been in jail, out of jail, in jail, love to take things, love to argue and fight, gossip, can't get along with other people. The list goes on and on. There is a clinical term for that, and it's called dysfunction, dysfunctionality. The term dysfunctional is used quite often in today in regards to our families. The word refers to the sense of disintegration produced in a family where there is a lot of hurt that is caused by the action of those of us who comprise the family. From a Christian perspective, it is a home that is not functioning as God has intended it to. Not functioning as God has intended it to. It could be the result of any number of things: divorce, abuse, extramarital affairs, sexual abuse, spousal abuse, and the list goes on and on. One of the strange dynamics of family, brothers and sisters, family and friends, is that when children grow up in those families, in those type of families, they often repeat the same mistakes. The truth is that what we know about marriage and parenting, from good or bad, we learned in our homes. The end result is that dysfunctional families can recreate dysfunctional families, often for generations. I believe this is part of the reason the Bible is speaking of when it says in the book of Numbers 14:18 that God visits the iniquity of the fathers on the children to their third and fourth generations. Living in such a family can be difficult to live for God, but it is not impossible. As we will see as we delve into the study of the life of Joseph. Joseph is proof that it can be done. Joseph was raised in a family filled with jealousy, envy, anger, and deceitful people. Yet he became only one of two men whose lives are recorded in the Bible, whom there is not one negative word spoken about, not one criticism from the biblical perspective spoken. Joseph was faithful in an imperfect family. Became functional in the midst of dysfunction. So just keep this in mind. You can be in the midst of dysfunction without becoming dysfunctional. In dysfunction without becoming dysfunctional. Be ye not conformed to this world. dealing with an imperfect family, dysfunction all around, but it does not have to be who you are. Joseph, in our study, we will find, gives us a roadmap how to deal with an imperfect family and how to combat the dysfunction in our life to keep us from repeating the generational curse. God bless and God keep you is our prayer. As always, should you have any questions, please inbox me.